9:15, it's the morning show with Jeff and Will on AM 1700 WRCR Haverstraw, WRCR.com. Welcome back, everyone, and we welcome in Tina Traster. She is with the RCBizJournal.com website. That's the Rockland County Business Journal, covering all the news, top to bottom, everything Rockland County needs to know, right there on your phone, on your computer, on your wherever you get the internets, in your brain at this point. It's Tina Traster. Good morning, Tina. How are you?
Hey, the earth is shaking. The sun will be obscured. I don't know.
I don't know how much how much it's going to be obscured today. I think we're going to be okay though to be able to experience the eclipse here.
Excellent. I think it's a grand old thing. I think it's one thing I had noticed was this feeling of something that we can all agree is really great. You know, remember that feeling when there was something happening that we didn't have to disagree about?
I don't know. There are still people who are thinking this means the sign of end times, and I'm, why? Why are you just? It's the sun and the earth and the moon, just doing their thing. Why do you have to make it more than it is? I think there are people who are still finding this to fight about. Yeah, no, so I disagree with you.
Oh, well, but I think we'll see you on Tuesday, right?
I would hope so. I would like to think we will. Do you have plans for the eclipse? What are you going to be doing?
I'm going out to the Hudson River Museum, where there's a planetarium, and they're having they're handing out the glasses, and people will be watching the total eclipse from their courtyard and out on their deck over the river.
Nice.
I thought that was a nice thing to do.
Where is that?
That's in Yonkers.
Oh, over in Yonkers. Okay, very nice. I'm probably going to be heading out to the Haverstraw Bay Park, Paul Piperado Park, to watch it there.
I was just worried about like parking and the crowds, and I just wanted to be, I guess, in a more controlled environment. I think the roads are going to be problematic.
Are the clouds going to be and the roads going to be between here and Yonkers going to be better than they are in Haverstraw?
Well, only in that I will be leaving early, playing hooky.
Okay, because you can do that to Haverstraw also. That's not just a Yonkers thing.
That's true. Yeah.
But for me, I was actually going to bike over to Haverstraw, so I'm not worried about parking or traffic.
That's smart. That's smart.
Hi, Bob Trevero here. Good morning. Don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, if it's too cloudy, they'll postpone it till tomorrow.
That's Bob trying to be funny. See, if you don't listen to him on Friday nights from 6 to 8 p.m., you don't know that Bob has a really wicked sense of humor.
All right. Well, speaking of things that aren't so funny, so on Friday we broke the news that the town of Clarkstown settled its RLUIPA suit with Ateres, the yeshiva
right,
that wanted to buy the Grace Baptist Church in Nanuet several years ago. And as you recall, the yeshiva tried to buy the building, and the allegations were that the town and the Coupon of Nanuet conspired to derail the sale. So then the yeshiva went to court, but the district court dismissed the case. And then a year later, on appeal, the circuit court reversed and reinstated the complaint against both the town and Coupon. Now, at the time, the yeshiva was allowed to continue its case, and it was seeking $10 million in damages against the town, which we've talked about on this radio show. Last month, the town and yeshiva settled their differences, with the town paying the yeshiva $200,000, and I kind of think even the second part of this is more important, and the town, including the entire town board, the planning board, the zoning board of appeals, and the building inspector, are all going to be required to undertake training in religious liberty and RLUIPA with a former attorney for the United States Department of Justice. And the settlement is only satisfied when they certify to the yeshiva's attorneys that they've completed the training. So nothing in this settlement releases Coupon of Nanuet, and as far as I know, they're still litigating. The settlement specifically excludes them. So the background here is that, Coupon sued. That's what I wanted to say on that. Any thoughts, questions?
No. What do you think happens with other than the settlement itself? What happens with Coupon though? What do you think goes forward with them?
Nothing.
Nothing will happen.
Yeah, I think that'll go away. But in the meantime, Clarkstown's purchase of the Grace Baptist Church is proving to be quite the investment. Let's say in 2018, the town spent $4.3 million on the building. It has sat empty for 5 years. It has paid for all of this litigation. It has already written another check for someone's got a calculator and they're keeping track. $200,000. They recently got a $500,000 demolition grant, but that's only likely to cover half. And before they can even bulldoze the building, the town last month signed off on a $720,000 bond to remove the asbestos before it can be demolished. So meanwhile, and then kind of behind the scenes is a dispute about what kind of future development will belong there and just how dense it should be. I've known for at least a couple of years there have been efforts to put more senior housing. I say more just because the town it's just continuously faced with those kind of proposals. The building site is a prime opportunity, really, once again, to kick off the development in the transit-oriented development, the TOD, which we've spoken about around Nanuet's Main Street and the train station. But that, as you know, has sat idle for about just as many years. So a lot of money so far spent on visions and purchases and litigation, and we will see what comes of this building. But in general, it's been a very stalled kind of thing over there in Nanuet and costing the taxpayer as we speak. So that's something we will keep an eye on. Coupon, not Nanuet, but the Coupon up in, I think, Ramapo, sued the village of Chestnut Ridge, alleging that new laws overly favor religious organizations, and this is tangentially related. And both the district court dismissed it and the circuit court affirmed that decision, saying that Coupon didn't have standing to challenge the town laws. So this is something in Rockland County that is of great preoccupation. Moving on and switching tracks, the much unrest is happening at RCC. I don't know if you saw our piece on the tension at RCC that has reached such a boil that the body known as the Faculty Senate, which is a 43-plus member organization, I guess, is calling for the ouster of the college president. This is, I think, the first time in, I believe, 14 years where such a call has been put out, except that this no confidence resolution is far more extreme than anything I think the college has ever seen in terms of discontent. Now, this is in the context of the college's woes of having to close an $8 million 24-25 budget gap. And right now, a proposed budget calls for furloughs and layoffs and spending cuts and tuition increases, and sunsetting the Haverstraw campus. So,
is that enough? Do you think that's enough to cover those costs, or what do you think? Is that does more need to be done?
Well, I'm not a number cruncher, but I think what one can see. I think so. The general feeling, some of the feeling from the Faculty Senate, which is made up of administrators and faculty, is that the college, and this is pretty common, I think, around the nation, is that the college has become too top heavy, too heavy in administration, and increasingly, parsing down the administrators, the educators, losing courses that they have been offering for years, And I think their argument from their side of it is that it's a, that's self-fulfilling. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like if you keep cutting the very thing that should be attracting students in the first place, then you're not going to be able to right the ship. I think that's one of their general feelings. RCC is not alone in its challenges as a community college to keep things, marching along. But I think an $8 million budget gap is pretty severe, and I think that it's the tuition increases are they're nominal. I don't know that plugs the gap. It would seem to me that where the genius would be is to really step up the amount of the enrollment. I think that's probably, like I said, I'm not a number cruncher, but I would think that part of what's needed here is to really beef up enrollment and to and also to to slough off the things that are unneeded. For example, this closing of the Haverstraw campus. This is a building that they were renting and they didn't really need it, and they had 3 extension campuses. One was in Haverstraw, one was in Orangeburg, and then the third, is the RCC culinary building in Nyack. And it says that the report says the sites are operating at a deficit due to high rental costs and low enrollment in the programs offered at each site. And then this report also says that the report further says no needs assessment was ever conducted before choosing these locations. These locations were costing the college $1.5 million in rent a year. So that's a lot of money. And I think that, there's going to have to be an evaluation of facilities and, kind of an across-the-board really hard look at what's not needed and where resources are better allocated.
And I've been to the culinary facility down there in Nyack. Boy, they got to get somebody like America's Top Chef or something like that to film a show in there and just make some of that money back if they can, because it's really a nice facility, and it's too bad more people aren't taking advantage of the program that they have there and helping them defray the costs of it. We have a caller on the line with a real quick question, if you don't mind. Tina, are you available for that?
I'll give it a go.
Sure. Hi, you're on with Tina. Who's this?
Hi, it's Gracie. Tina, listen, it's more like a comment than a question. You're on the right track. I've been in education, my husband in education. Too many administrators. The administrators have assistants and their assistants have assistants. The money should go to the classrooms, whether it's on first grade level or college level. You're on 100% the right track.
Yeah, well, I think that's the general sense out there, certainly amongst the educators.
Thank you, Gracie. And so what else? We've got about a minute left. What else can people look forward to in the pages of this week, the web pages this week of rcbizjournal.com? Yeah,
well, tonight there will be, I would say, a packed house meeting in Piermont to talk about a 14-unit proposal on Main Street in Piermont. There's a fair amount of dissent over a proposal to infill a, like an empty lot that's been used for parking for years. The underlying
is that the one? Is that like across the street from Turning Point? I believe it is.
It's across the street from their village hall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Near there. Okay. Yep.
You've seen it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought so much about it. There's been a proposal to put 3-building, 14-unit development there. But there's like an underlying story here that's kind of even more interesting in terms of the Piermont had passed a law to make this happen, and there's some question about whether all the steps were done right in terms of the county. So I think tonight's planning board meeting, if I can get back from Yonkers, will be interesting to watch. But in the meantime, if you want to learn about the issue, we put that up last week.
Excellent. All you have to do is go to rcbizjournal.com and check out the pages of the Rockland County Business Journal. Thank you, Tina, as always, for joining us. We'll talk to you again next Monday.
All right. Happy